Mask is so hot on my face. I don't believe I need it now. But hello. Welcome to the worm bin in the theElpyDimension. I'm your guide, Elpy. Waving with my glove, which it seems so natural, right? I want to wave at you, but it always reminds me of AV. He always gives a thumbs up with his videos. At least he used to. I need to go over there. But anywho, all right, we are checking out the mixed worm bin, also known as the blue bin. Yeah, although it's not just blue worms, it is a mixture of worms. This is my first bin, and always the one that I seem to be the happiest with. Now, this is where I fed last, and we're at about 89, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 30, 31 degrees Celsius. I know I'm a little bit off there, but oh well. Okay, so maybe I should have been a little bit more, excuse me. Oh, okay. This bin, this is not a bin that I've been concerned with the population. There have been times over the last year that I was a little bit worried. I have been more neglectful of all of my bins. If you've not been here, that's the last year I've not been as hands-on. This is my 5th year worm farming. I absolutely love it. I use the castings in my garden. I also sometimes use it with my houseplants. Okay, so this bin, the tops always crusty. Wait, let's start on the side that doesn't have the feeding. Save the best for last. Okay. Now last time, 9 days ago, today is the 30th of July, 2024. Last time I was in here was the 21st. And I didn't find worms throughout, which, as I've said before, that doesn't freak me out. It's not uncommon. I just hope then to see a whole bunch of worms when I get to the feeding zone, which none of my populations are their greatest of all time, but like I said, I've been pretty neglectful. I'm a lazy worm farmer, and I don't focus on getting my castings perfect. I don't think there's anything wrong with people who do. In fact, that is probably better, but I don't do it, and hats off to everyone who does. All right, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. Obviously chunks and stuff that this would need to be sorted out of here. But like the last worm bin, I'm going to get a paper bag, but I'll wait until after the feeding and separate this. Now, as I've been saying, I'm working on being more consistent, getting back to checking in to the bins, fluffing them, as when I first got into worming was how I heard other worm farmers refer to it, and I think that fits perfectly. A lot of people don't believe in disturbing their worm bins, and I totally respect that, and I think that makes sense, but I also enjoy digging into my bins, and I think it makes sense to fluff them and introduce oxygen. So, okay, no worms on that side. Not totally surprising because there's not a lot over there for them anyways. That's why this is the 3rd video this week of my worm bins that you'll see. The first one was of my European Nightcrawler bin number 2. And the worms are throughout. But that bin has also been completely harvested from. Although I think the first half was harvested over a month ago, and that stuff looks like it could be harvested sooner than later. I did put grass clippings and shredded torn up paper in that bin. Yeah, that stuff looks, I'm like, wow, I could use this. But anyways, the worms are still all throughout. That is still newer material. So if you consider that I've been like, yeah, for the last year, I've not been very hands-on. I remember hearing a while ago that worms can basically eat, survive, and digest their castings 3 times over. So while they would prefer fresher material, it's not going to kill them if there's no food in here. So it's not totally surprising that they aren't in the old material when there's nothing really over there for them. Because this is really old material. Versus in that first bin I was just talking about, that material is not as old. But okay, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here for our feeding. It's a shredded paper. I see a lemon that I didn't take the sticker out. Oh, that's right. I put old rice in here. Since I see mold, I'm going to put my mask on because I want to. Okay. So the feeding is right here. We're going to go around the feeding. For those of you who don't know, this is a biodegradable glove. It is said to be biodegradable in a commercial facility, but why not see how long it'll take to break down in my vermicompost if it does. Okay, just wanted to check this corner. We've got some worms in there. Cool. And now to the feeding. Fruit flies. Lots of them. I still have not gotten the mosquito dunks, mosquito bits, as someone recommended to me, that are safe for myself and the bin. And I'm suddenly remembering I was supposed to do that, is that will help reduce fruit fly population. So there are worms in the paper. And remembering now that I put rice in here, that explains further why it's so warm. Now the rice appears to have just clumped up. I'm not happy with that. So it's not moist enough. Typically worms love rice. There's a bunch underneath it, but it's not being as awesome as I was hoping. This was a whole mango that went bad, but it's still juicy inside. There's worms all throughout. I'm not as excited about this as I would like to be. I feel kind of bad for them that rice was. But you see, there are a boatload of worms. I think that's an old carrot. That's a nice sort of kind of little worm ball. Here's, yeah, they're all hanging out. think yeah, this is mostly all worms. So that is exciting. That is wonderful. Okay. Yay. And then there's a lot more worms. More over there. Okay, I think what I want to do there's a lot of worms underneath. As it's broken down, they're eating all the juices coming off of it. I'm gonna get some more paper and we'll mix the rice kind of into that. Yeah, beautiful. Blue worm, a little fast. All right, well, I do feel good about what I found, other than the rice feeling like it was not so yummy for them. Typically citrus, I don't, if it's not broken down, I don't make a big, that was a grapefruit. I don't feel like, oh, I can't feed because there's a whole, because that kind of takes a while. But they also have a mango. So, and they still have the rice. I might give them, I might give them just a little bit. All right, I'm back. My phone overheated. So while I put it in the freezer, I didn't always have this problem, and it's strange for that to happen in the basement. However, if it was 90 degrees in here, you know, he could be coming up and I'm warm, and I mean, my basement's not cold, but anywho, and the more I record on my phone, I really need to, anyway. So while I was waiting for my phone to cool down, I went ahead and put my divider in here. This is going to be the side that I harvest from. And I forgot to cut holes, but they can get around it. It's not. And since they already have so much food in here, this was a cucumber that went bad. I scooped the seeds out of it. I don't know if they're viable. A piece of watermelon and a couple of Brussels sprouts. I'm really doing my best here, guys, to not overfeed, since I am going to be back in a week, at least to check on them. I did poke a hole in the grapefruit, and I sort of broke up the rice and put the rice on a basically brand new bed of wet shredded paper. Hopefully that'll facilitate the breakdown of the rice. Now here was our big worm ball. Sorry to have disturbed you guys so badly. You were in a great spot. Now you have to find a new spot. Okay, so we'll come over here. There's already a bunch of paper, and since I need to be working towards harvest, which this side I won't harvest for weeks, we'll put there's a couple of Brussels sprouts that went in there, the mango, and this half of a watermelon. Good Lord. Cucumber. Cucumber is fresh out of my garden, by the way. Well, picked it out of the garden, went in the refrigerator, and didn't make it into the gazpacho that I made and the cucumber dip that I made. Next up, I'm going to make some refrigerator pickles. But okay. So we disturb the worms. They will find themselves anew. Sorry about that, guys. Put that piece of watermelon down in there. We haven't exactly covered it up in a way that the fruit flies won't be back, but okay. So population looked good in here once we got digging around. Food wasn't really broken down as much as I would hope, but we will be harvesting soon from the other side. So yeah, okay, this was the mixed worm bin or the blue worm bin feeding. Just a small feeding because they've all just added a little bit new stuff in there because they've already got a bunch of food in there. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this. Helps me out. And I hope to see you around. Hope to hear from you in the comments. I love to discuss worms and worm farming, and I'm open to suggestions and just hearing your stories or whatever. We will be back in a week to 10 days to check in on these bins. Next up is, this is also a mixed worm bin. I'm going to change their names around. This is mixed worm bin number 2, but it's always been called the European nightcrawler bin because I used to have just European nightcrawlers in there. But seeing as they're right next to each other, well, they obviously climbed over there. But that's last time my battery died before I could really record. No, I think I did show you some of it. And, oh, I said I wasn't going to feed. I did wind up throwing, I forgot what I had. It was a pear or some, oh, it was an old peach. There were a couple of food items left. And so they did get a very small feeding. But now I'm going to give them some watermelon, another cucumber that got old. That one in the middle is not scooped out of, as well as the little bit of Brussels sprouts that are left. So let's get our thermometer. Now we still have the rice over here. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this in the middle. Let's get our worm blanket. And hey, if let me know if you'd like to see me going through here a little bit farther away. This phone camera does have the ability to have wide angle, but I can't have the flash on. And I think that the flash is a better experience. But I know there are other things that I can find to improve your overall experience here. So if you've got any thoughts on that, let me know. But I really, again, appreciate your time. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again. Be safe. Stay well. Bye for now.